go for one fall. Coming to the ring, weighing 165 pounds from Keystone City, here is Jynx!
And on his way to the ring is Jynx. Man who's a former light heavyweight champion here in GCW. And he's got a good one here tonight against the New Deal, Dan Walsh. Well, Jynx giving the referee a hard time now on the search. He's been controversial as of late.
And his opponent, weighing in 195 pounds from Paradise City, USA, New Deal, Dan Walsh!
We are awaiting now the opponent for Jynx. And there he is, the New Deal, Dan Walsh. And where's Walsh going? And he comes out again. Walsh, I guess, wants to make a fashionable entrance. I don't know, but this should be a terrific bout between two former light heavyweight champions. Both of these men have held the gold. Both of them want to get back into title contention. And the best way to do it is to get a win over the other man. Well, here we go. Dan Walsh having a little fun with the referee. I think everybody in this match is having fun at Patrick Small's expense here, but make no mistake about it, he is a fine official. One of the top referees in this part of the country. And once that bell rings, believe me, he will be in charge. Well, here we go. Jynx against Dan Walsh. Two men that are no strangers to each other. They've been in those light heavyweight wars. And where is Jynx going? Jynx is not anxious to start this one out. We have seen a little bit of an attitude change with this young man as of late. It all started back at Point Fest when he wrestled his then good friend Dingo. And Dingo beat him fair and square, and it just seemed to set Jynx off. And he has just progressively got more introverted since that time, and more controversial, certainly more aggressive. So it's almost a new Jynx against the New Deal. Well, Jynx ducks to the outside once again. Maybe he's trying to play some head games with Walsh. A little psychological warfare. We shall see if it works. You know, this is so different from Jynx. Normally, the Jynx we're used to will just charge right in there and go right after you. This is a different athlete, to be sure. Well, here we go. And there goes Walsh. And now Walsh is going to turn the tables and play a little bit of psychological warfare as well. Walsh says, anything you can do, I can do better. And now look at that. Jynx is showing some impatience. He's going right after him. You've got to ask the question right now, who is getting into whom's head? So both of them are back in the ring now. And we tie up in the center of the ring. Jynx goes immediately for the knee to the midsection. We've said it already. He has started to have a more aggressive streak to his nature, as he now goes for a combination armbar and chinlock, now going fully into the armbar and torquing away on it. Jynx continues to apply the pressure to the New Deal, Dan Walsh. Walsh now trying to fight out of this predicament. Jynx has straddled him, had all the leverage on him, but Walsh manages to fight up and reverses it. Wrist lock by Walsh now, continuing to pound those forearms. Irish whip. Big back elbow from the New Deal. And again, Jynx goes to the floor. Well, Jynx wanting to cut off the momentum here, it would appear. Walsh had started to put together a flurry of offense, and Jynx effectively just called timeout. Crowd getting behind the New Deal here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri at Grudge Night. The National Guard Armory. And of course, whenever we're in the National Guard Armory, we always remember, and it always reminds us, to say a special thank you to those of our fans, of course, who are in the armed services, serving overseas. Dan Walsh has done that. And we're all proud of all of you. As again, Jynx goes out to the floor. It seems as though anytime Dan Walsh gets any offense on you, that Jynx will just duck back out to the outside. Maybe that is a lesson he learned from his time as light heavyweight champion, when you could use that time limit to your advantage. But I got news for you, that's not the case here. When you're not a champion, a time limit draw really doesn't do anything for you. It's the wins that you need to get when you're climbing the ladder, not the draws. Collar and elbow in the center of the ring once again now. Walsh with the wrist lock. Ducks under for a hammerlock now. Back to a headlock. Walsh outmaneuvering him. Headlock takeover. And Jynx struggling to keep a shoulder off the canvas. And now Walsh with some of that schoolyard offense he's been known to pull out from time to time. And Walsh hammers away at him. What is this? It's the wedgie-plex. One of those signature maneuvers of Dan Walsh that I don't think anybody else would dare attempt. And Jynx once again goes out to the floor. And Walsh follows him out this time. He's had enough of it. Jynx right into that railing. Dan Walsh does have a temper. We've seen that before. And Jynx goes flying into that rail. Jynx, though, fires back to the midsection. That might have been low. I couldn't see from my angle. European uppercut. And now it's Jynx in control. He just slapped one of our fans. Come on. Absolutely no call for that. I told you he's had an attitude change, and brother, you just saw it right there. Jynx continuing to pour on the punishment, sends Walsh back to the inside. And Jynx now with another forearm smash of that uppercut variety, Irish whip. Big splash in the corner from Jynx. But again, that arm is still hurting him. He took some punishment on it earlier. Goes for the cover. Count of 2.5. 2.5 count only. Jynx now with a snapmare. And a knee right into the back. Goes for a rear chinlock. Jynx slowing it down. Trying to wear out the bigger opponent. Not a bad strategy, I've got to say. If you got a guy that's bigger than you, you don't want him up on his feet wailing away at you. Jynx now continues to sink in that pressure. But Walsh just bulls him off, just powers out of it. And now it's Walsh on top. Walsh going for an armbar. And now a boot right into the face. Big leg drop right on the arm. Walsh, one of those guys that can border between the light heavyweight and heavyweight classes. He's one of the bigger light heavyweights we have. And so, he does have a power advantage over people like Jynx. Jynx, though, from behind with that fingernail rake right across the back again. The type of maneuver we're not used to seeing out of the young man. And now right in the eyes, come on. There's a difference between being aggressive and just breaking the rules. And that shows you what Walsh thinks about it. Just slapped him right across the face. DDT by the New Deal. And Walsh now picks him up onto the shoulders. Big shoulder breaker. And with all the punishment that Jynx has taken on that shoulder, that might do it. That might put him away right here. That shoulder is hurt. Jynx is just writhing in pain now. I think the referee is considering stopping them. Oh, wait a second! Inside cradle! Jynx got him! He played possum! Come on! Referee was considering stopping the match. Walsh, the sportsman, went down to check on him. And with a sneaky inside